Okay, I got my microscope out, and I mean, it's not an expensive one. It's like a $25 microscope, but this is a one that shines light down onto the object and magnifies it. It's not one of the big stand-up ones that shines light from underneath and shines it up to it. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to check out these hairs and see what they look like, see if they look like the ones I was finding out here before in the same area. Alright, so I'm just blocking the name here so you can't, just to not give away my location. It's from the bottom strand of barbed wire, and it did not look like hog hair. There was 2 places here where I took the hairs off, and then there was there was hog hair on there also, but this didn't look like the hog hair. But this doesn't look like hog hair.
Nice out here this morning.
This doesn't look like hog hair either. There's a couple there that towards the top that might be hog hairs, but these look a lot like human hairs here. Alright, so we're fixing to start checking them out. There we go. Yeah, look at that. There's different color hairs there. There's some clear ones. And looking at these on the table, they look a lot like human hairs. Look at that, there's different colors. There's clear. There's black. There's brown. So these are the hair samples that I collected off the fence. And these were from the first strand of barbed wire. Wow, look at that. Black, brown, clear. And there's a couple of burrs there. Those are those big brown burrs. We call them hitchhikers. They stick to your clothes off of some of the weeds and stuff out there. That's what those big objects are right there. 3 of them big objects. So they stuck in these hairs. But like where me and Dave were yesterday, we walked through a lot of them, and we were picking a lot of them off my backpack and my boots and my jeans. I had them all over me. They just stick to your clothes or whatever. But this is why these things blend in so much. I mean, their hairs just blend in. They blend right into the environment. It's the same kind of hairs like Mark Zasky showed. And I've sent him some of these. Some of these from that I collected last year. Hog hairs here. No, these are not hog hairs. These are some of the hairs I was finding last year too. They're not actually split, they just kind of like divide at the ends. And there's the root. There's the root of the hair. And then see how they split like that? Not really split, but they divide. They divide and branch out like that. It's kind of wicked looking. And human hairs don't do that. Hog hairs don't do that. Not like that. Hog hairs are kind of rough looking at the ends, but not like that. Oh, there's a root on that one small one right here that I'm following. When you get down here to the end of it, there's a root on it right there. Yeah, right there. There's the root. And then here's another one. There's a root on that hair. That hair's got a dark root, and then there we go. And then, okay, that's a black hair and black root. And some of these look kind of greenish too. See one there on the left looks kind of greenish. Alright, so these are the hairs we just looked at. Those black ones there that split off into the wicked looking ends. And then all these here that had the clear and the brown and the black and a little bit of green in them. And then these here with the burrs. Okay, that's what we just looked at. And these I took off the bottom strand of barbed wire also. Okay, here's the hairs that we're fixing to look at. I just took them out of the envelope. So we're going to take a look at these under the microscope. And these look as similar to human hairs also. Just looking at them with the eye. Just so you have some comparison here. Here's my hand. To how big they are, the size. I don't want to get my hand too close there. Here's with the glove. So you have a size comparison there. Alright. You can see where that hair was broke off there. There's a root, and that root's got some clear in it. Partially clear. They say the root of the hair is real good for getting DNA samples. But from everybody I keep hearing, it's real expensive. That you got to pay thousands of dollars. And then sometimes they're being told they got to pay more money if they want their results. There's some more clear in that root. So one thing I learned to look at was I learned to look at the root of the hair. I learned to look at the hair and see if it's damaged. I've learned that to look and see if the ends are cut. Let's see, that's not cut. That's never been cut. Humans have their hairs cut. Alright, so look at that. The hair's got clear in it. It's got a greenish tint to it. It's got like a tan color to it. There's the root to that hair. There's some really good samples here. These don't match any of the hog or deer, nothing like that I found. I found bobcat hairs on the fence before. These don't match any of those. There's some more clear. That root's got clear in it. Chloe, calm down. This root here has clear in it. Okay, so this one hair here is longer. There's the root to it. This hair is black. Follow it all the way to the end. Alright, so there's the end of it. So that's the longer hair. Okay, so these are the hairs we just looked at. And here's this longer one. that I just looked at last. So it's about a 4-inch long hair, that one is. The rest of these are about 1.5 inches or so, maybe 2 inches. But that longest one there is about a 4-inch long hair. Alright, I'm going to do some comparison here. This is some of my wife's hair. Some of Wynette's hair that she brushed this morning when she got up out of bed and brushed her hair. That she took out of the brush for me, just so I could use it here to compare. Alright. So as you can see, it's a lot thinner than the hair I just looked at. Alright, so I'm going to hook up the microscope and look at it.
I'm just kidding. I know you kissed. I know you're messing with me.
Oh, look.
See something alive in it?
Nah, but I'm seeing,
What?
human hairs. Hold on, let me let Chloe lay down. Chloe, you gotta lay down. Okay.
No, which hair is this? Mine?
These are yours.
Oh.
Look, I'm seeing clear. I'm seeing some of the same thing here that I've just seen in those other hairs.
Really?
Yeah. But your hairs are a lot thinner than those are. But I'm seeing the same colors.
I mean, I might be part of it.
When that might be part Sasquatch.
I'll take it.
But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the same colors. Okay, and there's the root of the hair.
I'm gonna shut this door so the baby can't come back
Yeah.
in here.
Alright.
You wanna come in here?
Okay, so doing comparisons here. Okay, so these are human hairs here from Wynette this morning. Okay, there's one there, and there's right there in the center of the screen. I see a root on it, and it looks like it's got a lot of clear in it. Some of these look like they have clear in them. Okay, so there's another one that's got a clear root. These hairs are a lot thinner though than the other ones. Okay, so here's some hairs that came off of the second strand of barbed wire. So I marked on this. I didn't know if it was deer. I just marked question marks. I knew it wasn't hog hair from what I was finding before. Alright, so we'll take a look at these now. Okay, so this is what these look like. They came off of the second strand of barbed wire. And I had a deer question mark, because I wasn't sure what it was. Alright, so now we're going to look at them under the microscope.
You're outside.
Okay. Okay, so there's a root. That one's got a dark root and then a clear hair. These have different colors. And we found a long hair. Alright, so we're going to take a look at it.
Wave your hat.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is. And focus here. Alright, so here's one end. Trying to keep it focused. Okay, I'm trying to determine if this is actually hair. But then I'm seeing areas like this. It's making me wonder if this is some of that black vine moss that I was finding. So I'm not seeing a root on this. Alright, so I think this is that black vine moss. I'm not seeing a root anywhere. And then I'm seeing these areas like this. It's making me think this might be vegetation. Alright, so now it's looking to me like this is vegetation. Some of the like black vine moss that I was finding before. This looks a little smaller and thinner, though it looks more like hair, but apparently it's not hair. Okay, so there's all that. Those hairs that we found on this one day here in this one area. And again, I'm just using the microscope here that shines down. It shines the light down on the object. Plug it in and so it just shines the light straight down on the object, and then you can zoom in on it by turning this here, zoom in or out. And it's just got a little stand. I try to put it in that stand and hold it steady. Alright, so that's what I'm using. So that doesn't show you if it has a medulla or not, because it's not shining up from underneath it. Alright, so there's the hairs. Okay, so now we're going to look at some of my daughter's hairs. My daughter Robin, we're going to look at some of her hairs here to compare to. Okay, these are robin's hairs. Okay, so I'm seeing about the same thing as when I looked at Lynette's hairs. Okay, so I'm seeing about the same thing as when I looked at Lynette's hairs. So that hair right there on top looks clear. And then you can see through it, and you can see the hair underneath it there. The darker brown hair underneath it. Okay, so some of our human hairs are showing up as clear. Alright, so far that's some of Lynette's hairs and some of Robin's. Here's some more. Some of these look a little transparent. You got just a little bit of color variation. Alright, so this is Robin's hairs. Here's one that's got clear at the end of it, and at the root is clear. Alright, so those are Robin's. Okay, now I'm going to look at some deer hair from white-tailed deer here in Florida, and this came from the same area where these other hairs that I've collected. Alright, so we're going to look at these for some comparisons. Alright, this is the white-tailed deer hair. Alright, so some of the ones that I would call white is what I'm trying to look at here too, and make sure if they're showing up clear or if they're actually showing white. And these are pretty thin. So these have a little color variation in them. Of course, looking at them, just looking at them with the eye, you can see brown and white. Yeah, some of these are looking clear as well. And you got a lot of browns in there too. Some of these actually look white too. They're not all looking clear. Yeah, some of these are looking white. And then some look clear. And then you got the browns and then a couple dark ones. Some of these here look white. Alright, that's the wild-tail. Alright, that's the white-tailed deer. Their hairs. Okay, so now we're going to look at some white horse hairs. I looked at some of these before, but I'm going to see if they're actually looking white or if they're looking clear. Alright, so we'll see what they look like and compare them. These are some that a neighbor gave to me. I asked her and she was kind enough to give them to me. Okay, these are the horsehairs. Okay, these are white horsehairs, so a lot of them are looking clear already to me. Okay, now these look white. Actually, these are looking white. Because I'm looking at these this one on top that's white. I'm not seeing anything through it, behind it, so it's not transparent. And there's a root right there. About in the middle of the screen, there's a root. Alright, so these white horsehairs, there's some more roots. So these are really looking a lot more white to me than they do clear, because I'm not seeing through them. Some of our human hairs were looking clear. This is from a white horse here, so these are looking white. And then you got a little other colors there too. Alright. Okay, now we're going to do a couple of my hairs. That's going to cut a couple. You do a couple of beard hairs, and it don't matter where you get it in. Maybe a couple of regular hairs. I was trying to pull a couple, but they're just slipping between my fingers.
That's what I knew.
Just sit it on the white paper there. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why I didn't want to do it because they're red.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Let me get this one.
Okay. And get a couple of regular ones too. Yeah, that's good. You spread them out. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh,
Yeah, that's good.
so a couple of your hair?
A couple of regular ones too. Yeah. Because I'm showing the different colors and all.
Yes, thank you. That's going to make that so much easier.
Yeah, that's plenty. That's good.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, this one's...
Yep. All right. Thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now we'll look at those with the microscope. Yeah, just so you can see what she cut off. So what I was trying to do is show you what they look like here on paper. And some of these are look brown or reddish, some look white, some are gray. Alright, so that's what they look like on the paper. Now we'll look at them with the microscope. Alright, so those look clear, because you can see the other hairs through them.
Is those yours?
Transparent. These are mine. And you can see the end of these have been cut. A lot of times when you look at human hairs, they'll be cut. Yeah, so see some of these look transparent. So that's what I'm thinking, the gray. I think the gray hairs look transparent. Those look transparent. You can see the other hairs behind them. Then you got other colors there. You can see the ends where they're cut. Okay, so these are just showing my hairs, some of my hairs here for comparison. Alright, so here's some more. A little bit of color variations here. And some of these are clear as well. And those two there actually look white. There's two there that actually look white. I'm not seeing them transparent. There's one there in the center that's transparent, clear. Okay, so that's some of my hairs. Alright, so that's for comparisons to the other ones we were finding. So looking at these two, all these human hairs, mine, Robin's, Winnett's, they're all a lot thinner. They look alike on the microscope. They look alike to the other hairs, but they're not as thick as the other hairs are. Or human hairs are a lot thinner. Okay, so there's my hair video where I'm comparing the hairs that I collected out there that I believe are the Tallman, Sasquatch, Florida Skunk Ape, and they look a lot like the human hairs that I'm showing here. They match up a lot alike looking at them with the microscope, even though those hairs are a lot thicker than ours. And you can see that here in the video too, that they look a lot thicker looking at them. Alright, so thank you for watching. Alright, so I'm showing this because I wanted to get out there and find out the truth for myself. And it didn't take long to find a lot of evidence on my own. Hairs, footprints. Then I've started getting other stuff. Now I've been finding a lot of tree structures, tree breaks. A lot more footprints, more hairs. I finally got to see some scat that somebody else collected that doesn't look like any kind of animal scat around here in Florida that I've ever seen. And also I'm getting some stuff on video now that I'm fixing to start sharing too, that's really something too, and it's really showing you that there's a lot more out here. There's more out here than just the Tallman, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Skunk Ape. There's more going on. But I got more videos coming on some of the stuff that I'm finding there. So I'm just sharing stuff like this. My video is, my YouTube is not a Bigfoot YouTube video channel. I'm just sharing stuff from Florida that I'm doing and finding and sharing it with you.